Let's bring in U.S. Attorney Foley, joining me right now. Madam, good to have you on the show. Thank you for taking the opportunity.
Thank you for having me.
So, what are you intending to do with the mayor?
I'm not attacking the mayor. I'm attacking the lies that are coming out of the mayor's mouth. And I'm going to defend the officers who are risking their lives every single day to enforce the laws of this country and do their jobs.
All right, I got you, but I mean that's a little, that's a little circumspect here, right? I mean, it's one thing if you're saying to the mayor, "Hey, you can't have a sanctuary city. You're violating federal law. Federal law is supreme. You've created local laws that countermand our laws. Get rid of your laws." That's one argument, and I hear you on that. But her being suspicious of a group of people who are generating a lot of allegations about how they're doing their jobs is not just her lying, right? There have been a lot of allegations about how ICE, where they're going, how they're acting, and what they're not doing in terms of Fourth Amendment normal protocols.
Well, that's not what she said. And she called them secret police and compared them to neo-Nazis. That is false, it's outrageous, and it is offensive. And I will defend the men and women who are in law enforcement, who are risking their lives every single day. Every department who has undercover officers, including Mayor Wu's, if you are in an undercover capacity and you are going onto the street, you cover your face. These men and women have been videoed trying to do their jobs, executing the laws of the United States, doing their jobs, and their photos are being put on social media. They are being printed and placed on telephone poles where there are going to be demonstrations or any type of mass organization. And that is putting the men and women in jeopardy and their families. We will not tolerate them being doxxed, and we will support them to protect themselves and their families while they are doing their jobs. And there has been no mention.
I agree with your concern. I agree with your concern. But you can do two things at once. You can protect their identities. You can attack people who, you can find legal avenues to attack people who dox them. And they can follow due process and the transparency that law enforcement does in every branch of every agency across this country when they're entering places and encountering people. You can do both, right?
There's no secret that these operations are going on. Every single police department is notified ahead of an ICE operation being done in their jurisdiction. It is not a secret. And so when they are going to where they said they were going to pick up someone who has either been previously deported from this country and is back, has committed a crime, and has either a warrant or a legal detainer for their arrest, we are notifying the police departments. We are notifying them ahead of time because we don't want any situation in which there is blue on blue or any type of confrontation. And that is a fact, and she knows it. And
well, look, I appreciate you.
She has not
Go
come
ahead.
out
Make your point.
Videos where law enforcement are getting harassed, assaulted, and people are standing in, and activists are being sent to these locations to impede ICE from doing their jobs. Everyone should be against that. These men and women are fully marked. Everyone knows they are law enforcement, and they are just there doing their jobs, and they should not be subjected to this type of harassment and interference.
My concern is, of course, the safety of the officers, but also the sanctity of due process and the laws that are in their charge. That's why I ask about both. But I hear where you're coming from, and you should use the full effect of the law to go after people who are punishing people for the administration of justice. I have no problem with that, U.S. Attorney. And I wish you well in that pursuit, and you're welcome here on here. I'm just making sure that we watch the watchman.
And as a federal prosecutor for over 20 years, I 100% believe that everyone is entitled to due process. And it is my oath of duty to make sure that everyone is granted due process. And I would never, I would never condone any operation where due process is not abided by.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.